from people in the front, you guys are the best. We also love you in the back. Just leaving things out.
You know how they bring the bad comedian out before they bring the good one out to like warm up the audience?
Yes, that's me, Tim. Thank you so much.
That's me.
So first and most important question, when you're working with someone like James Cameron, are you allowed to nicknameify him as like Jimbo, Jim Time, Jim Visit? No? Nothing?
Not if there are any sharp objects within reach of Cameron, which there usually are, if not firearms.
Make a note of it. Everybody out there, never call him Jimbo. That's useful.
I have a secret name for him, but it's only for him and I.
Are you sure that you wouldn't like to tell this very intimate audience?
No, I think it would make him uncomfortable if everyone knew, so.
Can I just pretend that you said it was Pookie Pie and we move on?
Yes, let's.
You're in Hall H for the second time.
He's going to do the Pokemon sequel. You didn't know that. That's his next movie.
People are going to report on that now, and it'll officially be our fault. So, great. This is your second time in Hall H as director.
Yes.
Right? Because you guys remember when Tim was here for a little film you might remember called Deadpool.
Yeah. Can I just say it's also my 25th Comic-Con.
Wow. And it's the 50th anniversary. You've been here half.
I've never gotten into Hall H except when I directed Deadpool. You people have more dedication. I was never willing to sleep outside overnight to get in here. So I applaud you.
Yeah.
Well done.
You guys are amazing. And so basically, let's start at the beginning of this, and let's talk about how you got involved with this franchise that is so meaningful to so many people.
While Deadpool was in post, David Ellison came to talk to me about something else. I was going to help another director with a project, and I showed him an early cut of Deadpool, and he really liked it. It was far from finished at the time, and then he started talking about Terminator, and it's David's favorite film. Like many of us, it's what got him into the movie business. And he said, you know, I didn't do it as well as I'd wished the first time around. But I'm not giving up. I want to try again. And would you be interested in helping with that? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh, by the way, if I say fuck more than 5 times, Arnold wins $20. Oh. So that's 2. Count them. So David asked me, and I said, of course I would. You know, I've said it in interviews before. I try and put myself in the fan state of mind when I read anything in the internet. Like, how would I feel if they announced a 6th Terminator film, and I would feel like, fuck me. It's like this. I've seen enough of these movies. I'm tired of this story. Unless there was something new, unless a part of the story that hadn't been told got to be finished, and that story is Linda's story. So
yes. And so
that was it, really.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And so connect the dots for us now that you're focusing on this story that you wanted to tell, kind of as a fan. Where are we going to pick up? What can you tell us? So there's so many spoilers. Like, we're going to have to walk through this carefully.
It's a minefield.
Yeah, right. But connect the dots as much as you can for where this movie picks up.
Well, I don't. Well, you know what? This is like the only audience that I could get like way inside baseball with.
Cool.
But the time travel for me, I loved Endgame. I think it's fantastic. I'm a huge Marvel nerd.
Woo!
However, I feel like time travel with multiple realities loses some stakes. If you can change time and it could be anything, but it could be multiple or alternate timelines. I feel like you lose a little bit of the dramatic stakes. And so in the Terminator universe, there is only one timeline. If you change something in the past, the time wave rolls forward and it changes the future. So Jim, in his 2 movies, really didn't have to deal with that, the consequences of that, because they're trying to make sure that what happened happens again, all the way up until the end of Terminator 2, when Sarah says, fuck it. Thank you. Looks like Arnold's going to win $20.
I think he's earned $20.
So what happens before it has happened? But at the end of Terminator 2, she casts all the dice on the table and destroys Cyberdyne. So you don't know what the consequences of that decision was. She hopes it's good. We wouldn't have a movie if it was. And so that's the most interesting story. It's the consequences of Sarah's decision at the end of Cyberdyne. And I think all of us, it's a very relatable thing because everybody makes these choices every day. At my advanced age, you look back on life and you go, man, that one little stupid thing I did led to this or that. For me, it's mostly been, I've been so lucky. I'm the luckiest nerd on planet Earth. But sometimes it's not so lucky. And that's what we explore. So Sarah's been, she's living with the consequences of that decision, and we see how it rolls out 20-some years later.
And specifically, the level of what I'm going to call kick-assery in this is going to like make the movie rated. Please say R.
Am I supposed to? Is that now? Yes, it's officially an R-rated. You know why? It's because it wasn't always that way. I'll tell you that, and it's because the fans kind of demanded it in a way. They felt it's true. I had a whole other plan in case it didn't go, or I had a backup plan. But the thing is that the DNA of Terminator is an R-rated fucking movie. So you got.
Get your wallet open, Arnold.
So to not do it R feels disingenuous to the source material. So we knew that's what the fans wanted. We knew that's what we wanted to do. And even though it was up in the air, that was always my plan. And so I got so many takes of Linda saying "fuck." It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, now let's just take a complete segment of the panel to talk about Linda saying "fuck."
I have so many takes of Linda saying "fuck." It's amazing. But none of Arnold. He wouldn't
What?
say. Yeah, robots don't curse.
Once again, robots prove to be far better than you or I.
That's right.
But working with Linda Hamilton on this movie, let's actually dedicate time to getting her back. How did you do it? Right?
Jim called Linda, and like we said at the beginning, we didn't know if she would do it because there's a lot of reasons not to take that risk. For her, why do it? Because you've had these two knock it out of the park successes. Why come back and take the risk? Especially, I mean, let's be honest. I made one film. I could have got super lucky, and maybe you guys will see this and say, "Yeah, you got fucking lucky." But I don't. I tried very, very hard not to. Mostly because I didn't want to let down Linda because she's pretty scary. But the chance to tell her story again was the draw for me. We just didn't know if she would. And then Jim called her, and eventually she called him back and said she'd do it. She can tell you why. She's got a lot of good reasons for why she does it, but I think it's the perfect time for her to come back. And I think the way she came back, she was so dedicated to doing it, it was incredible.
I think it's time that we ask
Let's
her
do it.
ourselves. Everybody welcome our Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton! Linda, you can stand wherever you want, honestly. Like, do your thing, girl.
It's so scary.
Why don't you just show Linda Hamilton some more love? I don't know if that succeeded in making it scarier or more loving, but we're excited that you're here. So go ahead and take a seat because I have many, many questions for you.
All right. Here we go.
Now, in my considerable cyber stalking of you, I have heard you say that it really took you a long time to make the decision to participate, regardless of the call from James Cameron, aka Pookie Pie.
I call him Jimbo.
Oh, thank you. Linda Hamilton A. Scourge. She's telling us his nickname, Tim. So,
She's slept with him. I haven't.
Only once.
this is a fucking dream come true. So let's talk about, like, was there a pivotal moment for you in that long decision-making process? Like, what made you decide? Was there one thing, or was there one hope that you had? What was it that made you come back? Because you did not have to.
No, I didn't, and I really gave it careful consideration because I felt that the first two were very intact, and you kind of want to retire a champion,
Yep.
or rest on your laurels, as he said. But it was the passage of time, and I was very intrigued by, the character is the same, but time changes everything, and what has happened? Who is she now? What has happened to make her who she is now? And there were so many more possibilities 27 years later,
Yeah.
that I felt that there was just a world of richness that I could explore. And Anne Rocket as a woman of a certain age.
Seeing you as this character in these movies has made like such a deep impression on people that I want to talk about what it's like for you with life experience coming back into the role and also training for that role, because like I've seen the stuff, Linda. Like, you're not messing around in this movie. You could easily like kill me with your bare hands right now, and might. I mean,
If it doesn't go well.
So talk about that, like coming back into it with all this life and experience in between, and what's going on with the character for you.
Well, that was what appealed to me, was that it wasn't just going to be cookie cutter, same, it can't possibly be the same because 27 years have gone by.
Yeah.
I originally thought I'll just put in the same kind of work and get the same results. And that doesn't happen. Training-wise, worked really hard for a good year, diet and all of that to sort of, get trim and get as far into the character as I could physically. But one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I can no longer worry about trying to be what I was, because I am so much more than I was. And that was the moment that I realized I really wanted to really be on board with this, that the richness of my life experience is only going to enrich the character that I play. And that just gave me so much to work on. The backstory stuff that you won't see, but you will see in my performance.
Right.
And going to just people will always talk about the training and the body, but really the work of an actor, the hard work that I did was the deep exploration of a woman whose pretty much an outsider, whose life hasn't worked out well, and who's lost so much. And that's the true work, is to explore the interior landscape of a character who I just had to go to my deepest sorrows and my places of deepest loss. And that's what makes Sarah Connor Sarah Connor.
Yep. And it's also what makes a sequel good. Because you want to see the characters that you know in a new situation where they're
Yes.
proving themselves in a different way.
I agree.
So when you're not pumping things out so fast, you actually have somewhere to go.
Yes.
Now, why don't...
Linda's also got a lot of inner rage that comes
Only
out.
towards Tim.
That comes
Only
out.
towards Tim.
Whenever she would get a gun in her hands and do a take, she'd fire the gun. She'd have this little smile on her face, and we'd have to do multiple takes because I'd say, Linda, I need you to stop smiling while you fire the gun. She's like, I'm not smiling. I'm like, you totally are fucking smiling. Every time.
It sounds like you guys had a terrible time working together.
Hate each other.
When you go back to this movie with a new director, like what is it that Tim is going to bring to the table that makes him actually a good choice for this movie and not just super fucking lucky? We know it's more than that.
It is more than that. He is the most honest and true director I've ever worked with. He's just so himself, so steady, a great leader with great vision. And he brought, it sounds alarming, but he brought so much, I mean, to me, as an actor, teaching me that you don't have to always be strong and heavy, that occasionally you can be strong and light. And that's what he's really good at, is the comedy, the action, and he just has a way of bringing us all with him because he is dearly beloved by his cast and crew. Dearly beloved.
Why don't we see if that's true? Let's bring out some more cast, shall we? Nice. Natalia Reyes, Diego Boneta, Mackenzie Davis, and Gabriel Luna. Welcome out. Oh, the hugging and swearing.
Fucking right.
We're not just hugging for you guys. We hug a lot on the set. Very huggy set.
Yeah, that's like what everybody wants to know, is that these movies are so intense that you guys are coming in as new cast members, right? But it seems like behind the scenes, it seems like you are sort of this weird, sometimes augmented human robot family, and it's wild to see. Natalia, can you talk about like your character kind of coming into this franchise and walking in to this new movie without giving anything away?
I'll try. Hi, everyone. Hi, thanks for being here. I am terrified. I'm telling you, this is really scary. You are too many and you know so much. Excuse me, I wasn't even born when the first Terminator came out, so...
Oh, boy.
I've done my best. So, Danny Ramos. I'm Daniela Ramos. I'm a girl from Mexico City. I'm a stubborn, Viva Mexico, cabrón!
Yes,
I'm a girl from Mexico City. I am a hard worker. I have my family, my brother, Diego, my father, my taco dog. Is that a spoiler? I have a dog, that's it. And I work hard, I want the best for my family, and one day I go to work and suddenly there's this new Terminator trying to kill me. So I don't understand why, and then we get these amazing two women, Mackenzie Grace and Sarah Connor, and they are trying to help me, so we'll see why.
we'll see what happens. Diego, can you talk about let's really talk about the action in this movie, okay? Everybody wants, Terminator is about action, right? We've got substance, we've got nuance, but we've also got lots of explosions.
Well, here's a picture I'll paint really quick. About a year ago, we were shooting a scene in the south of Spain, in Murcia. It was 45 degrees Celsius, so that's
Hot.
over 100 degrees.
That's just a nice fall day in Texas.
Exactly. Yeah, by the way, that's true. And we were shooting this car chase scene in a pickup truck with no AC in the middle of the highway for 10 days. And it was amazing because Tim would come up and we'd shoot, little fragments of this little piece, which is part of this 2-minute car chase scene. And he'd show us the previs and he'd go, okay, that thing that we're going to shoot right now, which is worth a second in the whole movie, it's this. Right? And it was really cool to be a part of a movie that was this effects heavy with someone who knows so much, but also cares a lot about the emotion of the movie. I'm going to steal this line from you, Tim, because it's so good. He says, it's if you don't care about the characters in the explosions, there's no movie. You've seen explosions many times, and technology will only get better and better. but it's the characters and the emotion that pulls us through. And Tim was able to really do both.
That's great.
I just said that to Diego because he didn't get to be in any of the big explosions. I wanted him to feel good about his role in the movie.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Mackenzie, let's talk about the size of this movie. I'm also obsessed with movies that you've done that are complete off the opposite end of the spectrum. Like Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town. I'm like, yes, girl. And then you show up in Terminator Dark Fate. Can you talk about sort of the difference in your experience on this movie versus like so many of the other things you've done, even TV?
Yeah. I was pretty trepidatious going into it because I just had this kind of like old Hollywood idea that there'd be a director and a megaphone like across the lot being like, more tears! and you wouldn't have any sort of nice experience shooting it. But then it's pretty evident as soon as you start talking to Tim that that's not his style. And so it was this enormous thing that's like, feels like an opera versus like black box theater or something. But Tim managed to make the acting side of it and the storytelling side of it really intimate, and I think without this sort of very intense reliance on each other and this emotional core of the movie, it would have been bad to make and then see. Sure. But I think the movie we made was wonderful to make and really fucking good.
I actually thought when Mackenzie, I'd seen her previous work and she'd already auditioned, and then she came down to Blur, and I genuinely thought that at some point when I started showing her what she had to do, she'd go, you know, fuck this, I'm not. I was just joking before, I'm not interested, but she really worked harder than anybody, I think, maybe except for Linda. Maybe, I don't know. She was up so early every day. She worked harder than everybody to become this person that is fantastic.
Linda, do you want to weigh in on that? Like, if just say, if you and Mackenzie got in a movie fist fight, who would win? I'm just gonna.
Linda would win. I assure you Linda would win. Linda has an inner strength.
She's definitely stronger and younger, but I'm meaner. I don't know.
You can't beat the Canadian out of a girl. I just like have nothing to compete with.
Gabriel, when the cameras like are not rolling, what's one of your kind of fave moments or memories?
Yeah, no. I have a guitar that I bring with me to work all the time.
Really?
And I was so afraid that he was going to go John Belushi on me and smash my guitar everywhere into splinters.
Is there a reason you were afraid of that?
Well, you know, I just started playing.
He's not very good.
I'm okay. What I did was able to pick out the Brad Fiedel, you know, the Terminator theme, and I'd play it just to kind of remind us all where we were. And Tim would like it sometimes, and then sometimes like, if you don't get that fucking guitar out of here. I think I just added to the fuck quotient. I'm the guy who made the bet with Arnold, and I put the over-under at 4 fucks. And dude, I was way off.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I would, of course, like to pluck around, but we also had a game that we played that our stunt team kind of started, and the Next Slice game. So if someone came up and... Now she gets to take a photograph of me, which ended up in the rap party video of everybody who died. But if you block it, which I didn't, she has to do 20 push-ups, which she doesn't. But yeah, that's what we did. But yeah, it was a fun set, you know.
Speaking, I mean, does anybody ever neck slash Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
I don't remember him being a part of the game.
Yeah. And you're the one that worked with him the most, right? You guys trained together, didn't you?
Yeah, yes. You know, when we, you know, it's funny because I had breakfast with Linda a bunch in Madrid, but then we moved to Budapest and we didn't see each other as much. And she's like, man, it's happening again. This is just like the first Terminator. I never saw Arnold. It's like we were making 2 different movies. And so once we got to Budapest, I was like, oh man, who's my friend now? And then the best one that could show up was, I guess, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He shows up sometime mid-June, and we become buddies, and we spend a lot of time in the gym. And, yeah, and we just Yeah, he taught me a lot.
Okay, cool.
Great
So
time to spend with him.
just to clarify, you're saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger was your sloppy seconds friend. That's cool.
How did you get
Arnold,
there?
don't listen to Grace. She's joking.
Could you, I mean, respectfully, could you keep up with them? That kind of blows my mind that that's just a thing that you could do is train with Arnold
No,
Schwarzenegger.
well, no, I had to eventually over time learn to try to keep up with him, and because he's up very early, and rule number 5 in his 6 rules of success, of course, is they say most people need 8 hours of sleep. To that I say sleep faster. So I had to learn to do my 12 to 6 schedule, and be up there with him in the morning, and then we'd go eat breakfast afterwards, and talk about everything.
I don't know if he got them, but I would get these texts from Arnold on the weekends when he wasn't shooting. That was like he's in Vienna and he's leading an orchestra in the street, and then he's in South Africa at a bodybuilding tournament, and then he did more in a fucking weekend than I did, I think, in the entire last 6 years of my life. It's
Incredible
crazy.
energy.
It's like he's like that little gnome in Amelie where she takes the pictures all over the place. It's crazy. Wearing my Blur shirt. He was wearing our Blur shirt everywhere. Free advertising from my company. I love it.
I feel like now is the perfect time for us to welcome him out, shall we? Schwarzenegger, everybody.
And I get $20. Is it 20? Yes, 20.
I should have
Sorry,
put it
because
over under at least 9.
Yeah.
I won the bet because he said that I bet any money that Tim is going to say fuck at least 4 times, and I said no, he's going to say minimum 5 times. Well, I counted it all together, it was 10 times. So that's why he gave me now $20, because that's what we bet. Tim just loves talking about it. I like doing it. But anyway, this is off the record, okay? Because we are intimate group right now. I don't want to read this shit anyway, okay?
I think we should have a little contest and keep score on that motherfucker.
And that's the Terminator panel. Thank you so much for coming out.
Imagine how set was like.
Yeah. I just want to know what you're going to spend $20 on, Arnold.
Well, there's a lot of options available, especially since the economy is going so well under Donald Trump. But maybe I'm getting a protein shake for both of us.
All right.
And we need it, yeah.
All right. I like that. It's always about training. Let's talk about the same thing that we talked about with Linda, first of all. You don't have to come back, right? I know the line is, I'll be back. But what is the reason that you decided to join this movie?
Well, first of all, I want to correct you right off the top, even though you've done a great job until now. Because it's absolutely incorrect to say that I don't need to come back. Of course I need to come back. I mean, it's like, I'm addicted to Terminator. I mean, it's like Terminator was the movie that really launched my action movie career. I did Conan the Barbarian before then, and Conan came to me and says, I want you to be in Terminator, and I wanted to play the Terminator. From that moment on, everything has changed in my life, and I've done then after Commander and Predator and Red Heat and all the True Lies and all those movies, and we really created the 80s and the 90s kind of an action genre. So I think that Terminator was really a very, very important movie for me in 1984. It was a very important movie for me in 1991. It became the highest grossing movie of that year. And it was one of those really unique characters where you were amongst the top 10 villains and scariest kind of characters, but at the same time, he was also amongst the top 10 heroic characters. So that's unheard of, and only someone like Jim Cameron can create something like that. So I feel very indebted to Jim Cameron for having created this character and these movies. And I'm so happy that he's part of this one again, and that he brought everyone together again, and that he and Linda came back, and that they were smart enough to get Tim Miller to direct it, because he was the perfect guy to direct it. So I think that you all will be really surprised at this movie, because it has come out really unbelievable, and I was blown away when I just saw it 3 weeks ago for the first time.
Arnold gets $100 every time he mentions Jim Cameron. Just so
I think Jim's got it.
But isn't it cute? I love when directors can also be funny. It's wonderful.
I just want to be clear that from where I'm standing, I've got a perfect view of Arnold giving mad snake eyes to Tim Miller, and it is literally one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen.
he loves me. I'm not afraid of him.
I just also want to say, before you go to the next question, this is unbelievable, Comic-Con. I mean, when you think about it, where it began, and like with a few hundred people, I think it was like 50 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And now look at this. This has like 150, 200,000 people coming together here. And in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, they have a Comic-Con event. They had last year 287,000 people coming together there. So this is how huge those are. They're now all over the world, and this is the only place I've gone to Texas to one, and I'm going next month to Silicon Valley to a Comic-Con event, and there will be one in Germany, and I will be also part of the one in Sao Paulo next year, because we are going to combine the Arnold Classic Sports and Fitness Festival with Comic-Con, where we're going to have muscles and the world's strongest man competition, and everything will be brought together. I'm a big fan of what Comic-Con is doing, and this interactive action that's going on, very entertaining. They really give you your money's worth, so it's really fantastic. So I'm very proud of them, because I know for sure the amount of people that say to them, this will never happen, it's impossible, it can't be done, and they didn't listen to the naysayers, and they went ahead and did it anyway. And here's the huge success. So big, big hand to Comic-Con.
Terminator, the entire franchise is like one of the most quotable group of movies that I've seen, right? So I just wondered, like, Linda, do you have kind of a favorite line that really sticks with you?
You're terminated, fucker.
It just got goosebumps.
It's what I do.
Arnold, do people quote you to you all the time?
Well, not only quote me, but I mean, they also try to imitate my accent.
Yeah. I specifically decided not to go that direction.
No. Beautifully, he quotes himself sometimes. We'd be on set, and sometimes be dragging a little bit. He's like, "Do it now."
You do it backstage all the time.
Oh, then
That's the way I talk.
well, yeah. Then we're at breakfast.
So when I went in the helicopter, I had to say to you, I said, get to the chopper!
No. My favorite. We were at breakfast. We were at breakfast one time. My wife was talking to a friend of his. And it was like, "What does your father do?" And literally mid-bite, he's like, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?"
Actually, Natalia does the best Arnold imitation. What does he say after a good take?
Very nice.
Oh,
Very nice.
gotta let him do it.
Very nice.
Yep, that was pretty good. I'm into it. I mean, we've done an awful lot of talking here. I kind of want to turn this over to you, and that guy down there, because it's time for something very special.
Arnold's going to talk about politics for about 20 minutes. And then maybe we'll show you some footage. No, he's not. He's not going to talk about politics. 20 minutes.
I just want you to just keep sitting here and quoting yourself. That's kind of, I'm into that.
Arnold's supposed to announce it, right?
Yep,
Arnold,
it's all you.
what do you got to say about some fucking footage we're going to show these fucking people?
Let's not talk about it. Show the footage. Come on.
Yeah.
Do it now.
That was unbelievable stuff. Is that the first time that you've seen it? Uh-huh.
Fuck, I'm old. But that's amazing. I have not glimpsed it because I don't want to see it till it's ready. And maybe not even then.
She promised she'd go to the premiere with me. She doesn't want to see it until then, but she promised. You did
It's gonna
promise.
be like this. That's amazing, Tim.
Yes.
And everybody at this table rocks. Every single person at this table rocks.
It's so true. There's so much energy in what we just saw. Like, Mackenzie, you're getting stared down. You like the leg break. There's so many things where I'm like, I'm having a nerdgasm. This is like, wow. What's your response to seeing that? And I mean, in a form you've never seen it before.
I'm surprised how many times I've teared up at the Terminator Dark Fate panel backstage in here. But it's I love Linda so much, and she's such a wonderful person, and it's just so, it's just really moving to get to see her in all of her glory and to see the excitement about her coming back. And Tim, I love everybody. So I'm so proud of what you did. I think you said it best, that like, Terminator 6 doesn't sell itself, but this is such an amazing thing that you made, so I'm so excited.
We made it together.
And that's the thing. That's what translates into that final product. And Natalia, I'm getting serious, intense, kind of Sarah Connor-esque vibes from your character. Like, did you kind of have some inspiration from the previous movies?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm too excited. It's, this woman, since the first day I met you and Tim was there, she was so generous, so loving. She touched me, she hugged me, and I'm sure she's a big part of the reason why I'm here. I know Tim and everyone else.
No, Linda.
But-
Linda chose her.
Well,
It's true.
She helped. And, first time I saw Sarah Connor back then, I was like, I think we all women, we were like, I want to be like her.
Yes.
She was so strong, but
Yes.
still feminine. She was a mother. She was smart. She was everything. And, it was a huge challenge for me to come here and do this. And she was so supportive all the time. She was loving. She's generous. She's so committed to her work. She's inspiration for me. I want to be just like you when I'm your age. Really, I want to be that strong. She did things that I couldn't do in this movie. She was stronger. She was so professional, loving. I mean, I cannot be more inspired. I'm sorry, I'm just...
Now I'm crying.
I think that is an important note to leave it on, because Holy shit, you guys. You can see more of Terminator Dark Fate when it's in theaters on November 1st. Now, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask, Arnold, down there, you guys are going to be somewhere specific this afternoon, come about 3 o'clock. Do you want to tell everybody where that is, or shall I?
You go ahead and tell them.
Thank you so much. I forgive you for yelling at me earlier. It's great. Later on today at 3 o'clock, there's going to be an AMA on Reddit. Everybody's going to be there, so make sure that you send your questions. It's going to be amazing. And in the meantime, put your hands together for this unbelievable cast and director, Terminator Dark